I'm all for replacing all human jobs with AI if there's some place for those humans to go and still find fulfillment in their lives. Like, you can't displace all these people and not give them some new place to go.
Hey, and welcome to Beyond Me, the show where mechanical engineering students go beyond ME, and where the things we talk about are beyond us. We like thinking broader, we like thinking deeper. I'm Ben, here with my co-hosts Liam.
What's up?
And Finian.
Hey, how's it going?
Liam, what are we talking about today?
So today we're talking about AI, how it's used in productivity, what we think it's going to do in the future, and really just how we use it. Yeah, it's exciting.
Finian, how do you feel about AI?
I think this was a fantastic way to end off the season, episode 17. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
How's it going?
How's it going?
Fantastic.
Pretty good. Nice.
Last episode of season 1 here.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Episode 17, capping off the season. It's been over a year since we started. We started April of 2024. It is now June of 2025.
Jeez.
So
that's wild.
Had some good Beyond Me
most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes, right?
Something like that, yeah.
By definition, we are in the top 1%. That's what I've.
Wow.
That I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said that was correct. So,
I don't know how reliable.
Speaking of ChatGPT, we sort of touched on AI here and there. We've dabbled in it through some episodes. But for this episode, I think it would be cool to, talk about productivity and how AI agents will sort of play a role in that in the future. Talk about AI-centric operating systems. So maybe we can start with sort of like present day, what I guess
Definitely.
like what our productivity workflows look like, and then like how we envision those, being heavily influenced by AI. And we might have a special guest later on, so to stick around for that.
Exciting.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Me personally,
who wants to go first?
I use it all the time. Yeah, I use
AI.
I mainly use ChatGPT. I use it mainly. I'm doing a lot of coding right now, and it's just incredibly useful. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the best coder, but I'm pretty decent. It's just some of the stuff it can come up with. It's just like I could spend 45 minutes on something, or have ChatGPT o3 or one of the thinking models do it in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I'm just not really sure what that looks like in the long term of displacement of job, but I just think it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredibly useful.
And do you find that more often than not it's pretty bug free, or do you find that you sort of have to hold its hand a little bit? What's your experience with that?
I mean, at this point, with the thinking models, if it really knows what I'm trying to do and it understands the language, it's pretty solid. It definitely gets things wrong less than I do at that point. Where I think it struggles is when you have really large contexts. So when you have a massive project, you're saying here's all the files and here's this, and it's working with a bunch of different inputs and outputs of stuff that it doesn't completely understand, then it can make mistakes.
Right.
And sometimes it'll make a mistake and really commit to it. It's really has a hard time changing it. But especially if you're starting a fresh one and it's very specific logic over specific values, it's just incredible. It almost never gets that wrong anymore, I've noticed. But
do you
guys code with it?
Sometimes, but do you ever abandon a chat and then try and make a new one because it's just gotten stuck in a loop?
Yes.
Of say it doesn't get rid of this one thing. You're like, yes. I don't want that. Why do you think it does that? Yeah,
it is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that probably goes into the attention transformer architecture of these models deeper than we really understand how they work.
Probably, yeah.
It has to do with the context window, and like, you know, after a certain amount of time, it can sort of, I guess, you know, I'd
Yeah.
imagine, like, think of it like a buffer. You can only hold so much information, and like after a certain point, it's probably better to start fresh and just like give it brand new context, only the context that you like want it to know. If it's
Mhm.
sort of like gone down the wrong path and like committed to that.
Yeah.
Liam, what tool do you use? Like, does it integrate with your, you know, with your IDE? Like, how does that work?
So I haven't really explored Codex much, which is their platform for being able to do that, mainly because I think it uses a model that's not as sophisticated as O3 and O3 Pro. I'm working on this crypto project right now, this coding project, and I got ChatGPT Pro for a month, and that has been huge. So I mainly just I have these chats.
Yeah.
I just usually will load in at the beginning tons of different functions and tons of data about what specifically I'm doing, and then work on a specific section and kind of go back and forth between O3 and O3 Pro. But yeah, I mean O3 Pro especially is really pretty solid. They're just a lot of times they'll just take like 10 minutes to think, so it becomes slower to use the best model a lot of the times than just using O3. But yeah, I mainly
But
just use
like
those.
in terms of like how you actually get at your context, I mean, you're not like copy and pasting your code into it, right? Like
No, I'm sometimes copying and
ha-
pasting hundreds of lines of code in just that it can get this
really?
one specific section.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Wait,
if
what do
only
you?
you had a Mac. Right now, the ChatGPT Mac app can now integrate with other apps. So
That's
when I
fun.
have
That's
VS Code
nice.
open, it'll automatically be able to, like, you have to obviously approve it for security reasons, but then it can automatically read whatever my VS Code it, you know, has open, and it can
Mhm.
also edit it. So you can say fix this thing, and then you can just say auto apply when it's done. So it thinks, and then when it's done, it shows you like the you know, like the version control of like what it's changing and what it's keeping, and then you just hit
Mhm.
apply. It changes it.
Wow.
The one limitation is that right now it can only look at one file,
Hmm.
like whatever file you have open. But I
So
mean,
if you're
like,
pulling something from another file, it can't go and look at that, and then
yeah, but I mean, there are other programs. Like I know that like there's like a Copilot extension for VS Code that can look at all the files you have in a repository. I know that there's like there's AI built code editors like Cursor that are just
Mhm.
like designed for that from the beginning. So that's like we're already there at this point.
Yeah, damn.
So
Well,
I'm
one thing I've
surprised that you're still copying and pasting.
well another thing is I got burned a little bit. Like I was using Canvas for a little bit. Canvas's built-in coding thing, and it'll just
Mm.
change stuff sometimes. Like if you have a 300 line file in Canvas and you want to change a line halfway through, it has to go through because it has to go through every time. And I'm not sure what your VS Code experience is, but in Canvas it has to go through the whole thing up until that point, and it'll just change things along the way. It'll end up just slightly tweaking things,
Yeah.
or it'll say this section was what it was before, but my reference of what it was before
Okay.
is that canvas, so it like breaks the code that way. It'll just do
I
stupid
Mhm.
stuff.
gotcha.
But
Yeah, for this you can highlight specific lines that you
that's
want to
nice.
focus on, but then it still can read the whole context. So like for example, um like let's say I'm, you know, writing code for like my tennis ball machine, and I had a very simple thing. I just wanted to like, you know, switch an if else statement to like reverse the logic, like something like that I could do very easily, but that would easily take me like 3 minutes instead of 10 seconds. So
Hmm.
stuff like that, it's like I just highlight that section, I say flip this around, I don't have to think about it, it just does it in a few seconds, auto applies. Like stuff like that seems
It's huge. It's
like,
awesome.
yeah.
No, I
Do
would
you
love
ever
to have
feel
a
as
good one
though
like that.
like do you ever feel as though you're losing your sense of like creativity and like problem solving whenever you use these? Because whenever I use ChatGPT, part of the reason why I don't use it a ton is just because I feel like whenever I use it, I'm not flexing the creative muscle in my head. I'm just like, oh, I'm
100%.
just gonna take the easy way out.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
so
I noticed
Liam,
that
What do you?
as
with code, absolutely. I mean, I for a while, like I remember in high school, I was writing a lot of Python scripts for things. I just when I learned Python, it was just fun. It's like, oh, I have to fill out a
yeah.
big thing. I'm just gonna have a Python script that just pastes a bunch of things, or just all sorts of things can be easier. Little experiments I want to run, but all that stuff can just be done so much faster with AI now. So I definitely stopped for a couple of years. For a couple of years, I wasn't doing much code until this crypto project, mainly because it's not as much code as other things. So it's only, I mean, it's like 1,000 lines of code. I guess that's a lot, but there's a lot of comments in it, and it all has to be perfect. So I have to understand how it all works completely anyway.
Right.
And I've kind of had to relearn basic coding through this project, and now it's kind of, whereas before I'd have ChatGPT do everything. There's some, I trust myself more with minor fixes again. But there was definitely that reintroduction for me that like I had kind of
mm,
just anytime I wanted to interact with code, and over the last couple of years it's been chat, but now I'm actually going in the other direction a little bit. So I don't know though. It's
do
definitely
Right.
you
it's
Because
think?
attractive. It's
like,
definitely
Yeah, because especially with ChatGPT, like you don't know what you don't know. Like
hmm
it can spit
mm,
something out, and you can be like, I don't know exactly what that is, but I trust it. And it's good to hear that you're doing more with yourself and not completely relying on it. But
hmm
another thing with like these large language models and using chatbots is I don't want to become reliant on getting my information from them, especially like in college, because I'm going to be using my knowledge that I learned in this period, and I'm going to say, okay, I can reliably use that knowledge, and I don't want to almost taint it with some nugget of information that I learned from ChatGPT and it turns out to be wrong. So how do you go about like fact checking that?
I mean, I feel like most information like Google searches that you do into ChatGPT are just correct now. And like especially since like Google returns with AI responses now, I trust ChatGPT as much as those responses at this point. I don't know.
I don't trust those
It is tricky.
responses.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I of course I don't completely trust either of them. But you're right. It's weird.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
no, Ben.
what I mean, I've definitely experienced that where it's just like at a certain point I'll feel like, wow, I'm really just doing less than I was. Like I'm really just like
Mm-hmm.
thinking less. And so now what I try to do is I mean, okay, there's a few different classifications of like things you could ask it. Like some things are like a big portion of the things are the way I think about it is basically like Google searching, but just in like a just a more personalized, better way. So like
Mm-hmm.
for things that 5 years ago or 3 years ago we would have just like Google searched. Now we use AI. I don't think that's any worse. I think that's just like using the tools, and it's just sort of it's doing the same thing where it's like looking up stuff, but it's just sort of like aggregating these sources and like to me that thing I have no problem with that from like a personal growth perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other things where like if you ask it to just like write an entire piece of code where like you like genuinely could not have figured it out besides that, yeah, then it's like, oh, okay, this is not really that fun anymore because the whole point is I'm supposed to be like learning.
Yeah.
hmm
At what
But
point does it cross the boundary of like a useless tool, not useless, but like a tool to find out trivial information rather than turning into a crutch to like help you get through some topic?
I've gone back and forth on that a little bit, especially with code, because like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, in the old days, like languages keep getting higher and higher level. Like Python is a much higher level language than most of the stuff they were doing like many years ago. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to deal
mhm,
with memory. You don't have to deal with as many explicit
yeah,
operations. I see this as
Yeah.
just like the next evolution of that. Whereas Like whereas Python, you're already coding with a lot of words. Now you're really just coding with words. That's what ChatGPT is, and really getting.
Oh, that's
I
great.
think
It's just like,
I think it's a huge productivity boost, and if along the way we lose our ability to program, I think there's upsides and downsides to that. I just think that's inevitable. Probably for the average person that doesn't need to be a developer to lose that, or maybe even certain
Yeah,
developers
I
that are
definitely
only going to do
don't.
text-based developing at some point. I think that's totally plausible.
I don't know. I think that if that does happen, just like being honest, I think there will be the developers that know how to code, and then those will be like the people that understand this stuff more, and so they're not gonna like hire people that don't know how to code. Like if you're going into a
don't you
job
think it
interview being
depends?
like, yeah, I don't really know Python. No, because I think like even though these people know that ChatGPT might one day be really good at coding, they're not gonna hire someone just as a prompt engineer. I think they're going to still value like the knowledge that you gain from learning like in a formal education. Like I'm not saying that there won't someday be like the ChatGPT university or something.
That's funny.
But until it's like an accredited, like ingrained into society of you can actually learn and it's like a college level education, I don't think people are going to hire anyone that's like, I don't actually know how to do this, but I trust ChatGPT.
I think that's a good point. And I think in the interim, what you're going to see is a lot of jobs replaced, like not developers, the people that used code for other things. Like maybe a researcher uses code to make scripts to run stuff for tests of really any kind. That I could see in the next 5 years, most of those people being replaced, being like, I don't really know the underlying code, but I'm really good at prompt engineering, and I can get the same results with the same degree of accuracy, or probably even higher, that the previous person of this role could do that did have coding knowledge but wasn't a developer. So I think it's just a slow barrier that's going to move just due to efficiency um, needs of the market.
yeah, I think a big thing also, like it depends on the it depends on the actual application. So like there's a big difference between like you said, I like the example you gave where it's like writing code to do this research. That's very different than writing code to fly the spaceship, right? Like
Yes.
there's like these different things have different redundancy requirements, and like I don't know about you, but I want humans, like multiple humans, to look over the code that's running all the rockets more than I care about having humans look over this code that's just like helping this researcher do this one thing. So
yeah. Well, it also
I
depends
don't-
on the research.
Yes,
I think even
yes.
that though depends in the long term. Like if the best reasoning models, I mean, okay, like the best programmers in the world make mistakes, and a collection of them can make a mistake and produce code that is the world's best code that has mistakes in it. I think there's going to be a time when we have certain types of tasks, programming tasks, that the best AI can just do better than humans on that stuff. It can have at least best human level mistake avoidance. And for those types of
to
tasks,
speak to
if
your
those are
credit, it's the same thing as spell check.
Yeah.
Like spell check is a form of AI. It is an artificial intelligence that runs on your computer that as you're typing, it is quote unquote reading the words. And then whenever something is misspelled, it's able to recognize that and underline it and say, hey, this is what it should be.
No, it's all
And
it's
same
all
with
just
like
different
grammar.
tools.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't actually speak computer language, but we can speak a language called like Python or Java or C that's closer, that kind of that makes more sense to us. That kind of
some
breaks
people
down.
can.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, but those people aren't needed for 95% of coding jobs at this point.
No, yeah.
Just
So,
like that number will slowly move for people that are just really good at prompt engineering AI to do this stuff.
As we abstract it to like a higher and higher level, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I do think humans by nature want to be more like tactile with what they're doing. Like by nature, humans want to feel what they're like working on in their hands. They want to touch it. They want to be able to move it around. That's why you see a bunch of people trying to design online tools to be tactile in a sense. Like you have the haptic engine in the iPhone, and you have all this extra technology that gets put into these products in order for it to feel right. Yeah. And I don't know if humans will ever be able to let go of that feeling enough to say, I don't really want to be as ingrained in working in this thing. I want to have it pass through this filter of like AI. So I don't know if
I would disagree.
People are widespread going to adopt it.
I would just say that industry drives adoption of all that stuff, and industry doesn't care about the tactile nature. Like, I think people ultimately, the consumer, when they get in a plane, they're not thinking about who made it. And I think if industry decides that they have AI products that can design plane parts or rocket code that has a level of scrutiny that's comparable to humans, that they'll choose that because it's cheaper. That's why I feel like it. Ultimately, that's where this stuff is moving at some point. And although I agree with you completely, and I like being closer to the source of it because you feel more in control and you understand it more. I just feel like industry and the people that actually use code just will be people want to be closer to the ground are going to be driven out because it's going to become less efficient at some point.
Yeah. Speaking to your planes analogy, I absolutely think about who makes a plane whenever I get on it.
Yeah, but Finian, you're not the average person.
As long as it's not Boeing.
Yeah, there's this company called Mechanize. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but it's like it's like an AI startup, and they're the first company that I've seen that like just outwardly say our goal is to replace all human jobs by AI. Like that is just like that's their straight up mission statement, which I find terrifying,
ambitious,
and also like fascinating that they're just going for it. Like this is what we're going to do. Now it's not happening tomorrow. It's happening over like decades probably, but I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I'm sure we can talk about this for hours, but what are your initial thoughts on that?
It all depends on how they do it. I mean, if I'm all for replacing all human jobs with AI, if there's some place for those humans to go and still find fulfillment in their lives. Like you can't displace all these people and not give them some new place to go. Like if you displace all these jobs, you can say, oh, well, you can all go back to school now that school's all taught by ChatGPT or whatever their model is. And then we can do a higher level stuff as a species. So it all depends on how they implement it. So
yeah, I mean, me personally, I feel like it could go in a couple different directions. I mean, a big problem you run into is that the economy needs buyers and buyers need jobs. So you could end up with a model where everyone's just paid by the government or paid by whoever controls all the AI agents, just that they can participate in the economy, which is a little bit weird. I don't really know what that looks like, but I mean, past precedent would say that any revolution like this of technology will create more jobs than it destroys, but it does kind of seem like this one is replacing the essence of what we do in every facet. So it's a little tricky, right? Like, yeah, it like replaces thinking, like cognition itself. So maybe all jobs for humans in the future are just maybe in the like. I mean, I'm someone who thinks we're going to replace every bit of cognition we do, but maybe creativity is the holdout. So maybe for a while, all jobs end up being creativity jobs or jobs that involve people because people still want to interact with people. And in that case, that'll be it for a while, and then maybe we beat creativity, and then I don't know, like it's weird.
If
Ben,
the
how do you
only
feel about
job
it?
is like creativity, then it doesn't disconnect from just a fantasy world where anything can happen. Like if you could just go up to a GPT terminal and be like, I wish I had a flying bike that could take me to the stars and like makes hot dogs, then what's the point in doing anything if it's a fantasy world? And then it just figures out how to make it.
No, but I think
I mean,
Liam's saying
it
is like,
removes incentives. But yeah, Ben.
Hmm?
well, I think what Liam was saying is like, maybe the last thing that AI gets good at is replacing our human creativity, right? So like,
Okay.
so
And that's
like
an example. It could be
for
something
the
else.
longest amount of, right? I think that creativity is probably a good guess. I think that's like,
Mhm.
I can definitely see that being like the thing.
Mhm.
I think that there's definitely a lot of value in like human entertainment and human interaction
Yeah,
and creativity. Like I think that people love going to concerts, people love
Mhm.
going to shows,
Yeah.
people love watching movies. I don't think that any of those things are as exciting to people if those are all created by AI. I just don't. Like
It
maybe,
loses the human touch.
yeah, I think that the human touch
Yeah.
is very important for those things.
Mhm.
Like people spend a lot of money on artwork, and I think that a lot of that is because like a human made that. I think that AI could create like the most quote unquote beautiful artwork, and it's not as valuable.
Well,
Mhm.
it only has
'Cause
value
it's-
that we assign to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Mhm.
assign it the human value, right? Like,
But isn't that interesting if the whole economy is just surrounding like just human made stuff? It's just human made entertainment and artwork, and
that's the
I
entire,
don't know,
yeah.
is the entire economy.
So
That's like interesting.
meaning like everything else, there's no money involved with, like it just happened, like,
No, I mean it's just
or
like for example, we still rely a ton on like the production of clothing. Well, I guess people in other countries do it, but there's just a lot of jobs that humans used to have that they don't need to have anymore, and that's ultimately everything we're doing today. Probably almost every job is not a job we're going to have in the future. So it's what are the new jobs we're going to have? Because as long as people have a reason to work, as long as humans are needed for something, then you have an economy. If they're not needed for anything, then I just don't really know what the economy looks like.
The
'Cause
whole
I'm somebody
like
who just yeah.
meaning, the whole meaning behind people's lives right now is the accumulation of wealth.
Yeah.
Wealth is the thing that drives the world right now. So until we move away from this system of needing wealth to something more along the lines of like um, everyone is striving to become smarter, like the pursuit of intelligence is the thing that's more important
I knew
than
exactly where this was going. It's
yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Star Trek yet,
Mhm,
or you're
yeah.
you're getting there.
It like is I didn't bring this up at all. I was trying to stay away
No, but
from
I knew exactly where you were going.
Mhm. Because
I
that's the world that it is. Like it's in the future and there's no world currency.
yeah.
The pursuit of the world is exploration and discovery. And that's what everyone strives to do. So they don't care about getting paid because everything's provided for them. If they chip in and do their work, then they're able to like explore the galaxy essentially.
I do think it's important to mention like
That's a fantasy world.
no, I think like even if as we get closer and closer to like AI is replacing more jobs, there are still going to be, I think, in my mind, unless we're talking like hundreds and hundreds of years from now, I think for a very long time, we're still going to have humans involved in overseeing this all. There's going to be AI experts who are still involved in like making sure the systems are like maintained and like fixing them and understanding how they work so that we can keep them guardrailed. But that's gonna be a smaller and smaller percentage of people that are actually responsible for those jobs. So I don't think it's gonna be like complete takeover, not anytime soon. But I don't know. Like I think that something pretty unique to humans is our curiosity. Like I think that's like one of our fundamental like core values and something that like drives it. Like I think that's like the curiosity is in my mind like basically the biggest reason why we've evolved to where we are.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, wonder is.
So I definitely agree. Like that curiosity has to go somewhere because like what happens if everything gets replaced and there's nothing for humans to do besides like just like eat food that's been made for you, sleep. I guess like you have the connection with other people, but I don't know. I can sort of see us going into the AR and the VR realm. So maybe the connection with other people won't be as stressed.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like there's two routes that this can go down. This can go down the like enlightened route where everyone gets their dreams, and then what you're kind of describing sounds almost dystopian in nature. And it's the other route where we are farm animals for this AI overlord that like we don't call it an overlord, but the only people left with jobs are the ones taking care of it because it takes care of us, and we've become so reliant on it that we're unable to do anything else.
I mean, that's kind of you see that happening anyway. Like a lot of the jobs you talk of there, like overlooking AI, it sounds kind of like what you call BS jobs, and in general, as we've made more tech advancements, we've had more and more of those BS jobs. So I think you do end up in a scenario where just more and more jobs are just kind of just placeholders in the economy, I guess, and they're not really providing anything unless people are really doing. I don't know, but you see, like the AI monitors or the people, it could be anything. I mean, the economy already has so many jobs that don't really add anything to humanity and are supported for some reason. I think about like finance jobs or people in middle management, and like I guess they do something, but it's, you know what I mean, like we already have a lot of abstraction from actual value creation in the job market, and it's just going to keep increasing probably, right?
I mean, like people will always find a way to extort money out of other people as long as there is money and the intrinsic value behind it. I mean, that's the whole
that's the drive
premise. That's the whole premise behind getting a job. It's showing someone why you can do something better and cheaper than someone else. Yeah. So,
I mean, yeah, long term, what happens there? I guess I'm not really sure. It's a little frightening though. I mean, it seems totally plausible though that we can replace all human cognition, but don't know when.
I just don't think that we'll let it get there. Like I just
wow.
What do you mean? I want to believe that the human race like sees enough value in them being able to like take action on things and like provide for themselves enough to like disallow AI to completely regulate everything.
I mean, right? Yeah, like, you see it in like the writer strikes that happened a couple of years ago. There was a lot of AI coming into the film and TV business, and the writers and actors were like, that's not happening. We want our jobs to be safe. And then they striked to get their way.
That only works until like they genuinely don't need them.
But guys, if you look at past precedent, humans never win on that stuff. I mean, Like in our
'Cause, like-
world, it's just you never get the altruistic what's best for humanity. It's always just what's best for industry and production. And if that's AI, then that's what's like all past precedent indicates that's what's going to happen.
Well, for
I mean-
industry, they're not motivated by people, they're motivated by profit.
Right.
And when people go on strike and then take away that profit, the only way that they can get it back is either replace all those people and then lose more profit by getting like dunked on by the public, or they have to hire them back and then sign a contract saying your job is secure from AI.
I mean,
So,
it's never
to
really
say
that
that-
simple though. Like when have you ever seen a big industry that's protected by contracts when there's a more efficient one? Like if Hollywood itself is less efficient or writers are less efficient than AI and the audience can't tell the difference, if that's the scenario, then a version of Hollywood or writing companies that don't have these contracts will win in the long run. So it really just comes
Well,
down to
that's
what
like-
produces the best result. Like those kinds of strikes don't do anything to the overall trajectory.
I mean, we can sit here and debate this all day, but at the end of the conversation, you're asking for an impossible example that I absolutely can't give of an imaginary industry.
True.
So you've set the bar like way too high. And
I mean, I don't think so
I-
though. Because I think it's. I mean, they have a term like a luddite. I'm pretty sure is someone that
A Luddite?
is resistant, or luddite is someone that's resisting technological advancement. And the luddites, en masse, always lose. I mean, technological advancements, if they're better at producing efficiency in the market, they always win. Like you can look at you can't find en masse a single example of where that isn't true. So that's
Well,
all
yeah.
I'm going off of.
First of all,
Um,
I can't say that's true or false just because I don't know every single example of
Sure.
when technology has replaced a person. But as I understand it, Luddites are also in the minority. So the vast
Yeah.
majority of people want technological improvement, and that's where it comes from. But to say that Luddites are somehow the people that always get shafted by technology advancing is not true. Like the people that want like technological advancement, it's unbeknownst to them sometimes that the stuff advancing will take their job. So
Totally. No, people help bring in the thing that kills them and takes their livelihood, ushering their destruction.
I think this is an interesting example
mhm.
because like okay, I 100% agree with Liam on the idea that like at the end of the day, whatever produces the most economic gain, like that is what will be biased, and that is what they will go with. But I think that like the entertainment industry is interesting because I don't think AI generated content can produce the same profit for a very long time. Like I just said a couple minutes ago, I see a lot of value in people like to watch Tom Cruise, or like people like to listen to Sabrina Carpenter because they're like people. Okay, maybe you disagree with this, but I think that like there's a very human aspect to that.
Mhm.
And I like even if AI gets like technologically as good, where like it sounds as good, like there's that human like I'm a fan of this person. I'm a fan of this like star. Like
It's a connection.
Yeah, it's a connection.
Yeah.
That leaves once that leaves, like because it's not always about like whose voice sounds the best, or like
Mhm.
who is a technically best actor. Like you like an actor because you like them. There's a
You have a
connection there.
Something human about
I
that.
think that there's something human about that. I don't think I don't think that's getting replaced for a very long time. And because that won't get replaced, these people that are striking could win, because unless the audience doesn't care, which I think they do definitely care.
They definitely care.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
I think one
I
one
don't like
caveat
that
to
we
that
chose
could be.
the.
I was just gonna say one caveat to that could be like
Hmm?
I think that's cultural. I think society really
Mm-hmm.
culturally values human-made things, just like it's similar to like the made in the U.S. versus made in China. It's we
Hmm.
have value to it because
Yeah.
it's more local, it's more connected to us. But just as made in the U.S. things, most Americans would prefer that, they still tend to buy things from China because they're cheaper. And they can't tell the difference in the product a lot of the time. So it depends on what the product is. But you know what I mean? Like it's I think if and especially if culture degrades, which I think as corporate interests tend to shift culture towards whatever corporate interests want, I think they'll shift us towards liking AI generated things more. And I
I
just
do
think
think that we have
over
a.
time, the amount of people that are okay with just watching AI generated things is just going to slowly increase. And now you're right; it could take a couple centuries. I feel like it's more likely to take a couple decades. So I don't
I
know.
do think that we have like an intrinsically American view on this.
Hmm.
Like we're
Yeah,
surrounded by all these companies and we're surrounded by the consumer mindset that's really hyped up in America. So
mm,
I don't think this would be as much of an issue in places that have a lot more of the person to person contact, like Europe, like the rest of the world. I mean, even you can go to Canada, and I feel like they have a much more like person to person valued culture.
well, I think a lot of places have held on to their
So,
culture way more than us. I completely agree. I mean, I almost think
well, I
our
think our culture
corporatist industry
is.
first, we're kind of industry first culture kind of erodes our own
Mhm.
culture. And when you look at the way we've touched many other parts of the world, I mean, it's we leave the imprint of McDonald's and iPhones, and I like it's the kind of I feel like it's the negative things in other people's cultures where we disrupt. So I think you're right. I think other cultures will hold out longer than us because they care more about that cultural significance of the in connection to the past. But
Mhm. Ben, what are your thoughts on this?
yeah, yeah.
Um. Uh. Like what specifically? Like our culture versus others? Like what do you mean?
Like, not just that, but like how ingrained in our culture the need for, I don't want to call it profit because that seems like we're like greedy or something, which I mean humans are
I mean, we're a
greedy
profit
and
based
there is
society,
intrinsic
really. I
greed.
mean,
Yeah,
I
like
think you can say that.
we are a monetary society, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you're right. A lot of it is cultural. Like you go to a country like Japan and they're gonna put a lot more importance on like respecting your elders and
Hmm.
they stress the like masculine and feminine roles way more than countries like us do. So
Hmm.
I agree that like culture has a very big role, plays a very big role in what we do. But I also think that we can sort of separate that from like the more fundamental, primitive, like built-in, ingrained things in humans. And I think
Hmm.
that curiosity is a part of that. I think that human connection is a part of that. And I think that those two things, no matter what culture does to us, and that those two things will sort of still be there.
I hope so. I mean, I think
Yeah.
another example I was just thinking of while you were talking about the culture and stuff is, for example, like home cooked food. Home cooked food in other cultures is still a really big deal, and I think a lot of people really try to make a lot of their food at home. But I think in the U.S., I think largely due to corporate persuasion, but also just due to efficiency in the means of efficiency, we get food out a lot more. We get breakfast on the way at Dunkin' Donuts on the way to work, and then at the end of the day, we'll order food somewhere else. And that's a huge thing that's grown within the culture. That is a major shift from the past of how we used to look at food. But it's come about through, I would say, really corporate persuasion, through marketing, and also just efficiency. So I think those are the kinds of things. You're right. We do have a society that really just values efficiency more than our own culture and our historic culture.
Yeah.
And that's why we're probably way more likely to experience these kinds of AI replacements than like other countries that, or most other countries really, because most of them just value culture more.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's important to delineate that when you say efficiency, you're talking about like ease. Like, is it easier for us? Because you can be more like, I try and cook as much as I can at home because that's more, it can become more efficient for your budget. It can become more efficient for your body, but it's not as easy. It's not as easy to just go on DoorDash and order food.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Less friction. Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. And there's holdouts. There's
going to be people that I kind of want to.
Yeah. Yeah, Ben.
Mm-hmm. No, finish your thought, and then I want to sort of transition here.
I was just going to end saying I think you guys are right that there's always going to be holdouts in some parts of the population that like I make almost all my own food, and I think that'll always be the case, just because I don't appreciate fast food. But anyway, I just think there are always going to be holdouts with all of these types of things.
Definitely.
But yeah, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've been talking a lot about the future of AI, like in terms of much longer term. I want to talk about like from now to like 10, 20 years from now. I want to talk about AI agents. Have either of you heard or seen the movie Her?
No, it's on my watch list though.
Have we discussed Her on this podcast?
Okay, so a quick. I wanted to in another episode. I don't think we actually talked about it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we mentioned it briefly, but basically,
I can't remember.
You know, the idea with Her is that the computer operating system is like completely AI centric, right? So like right now with our operating system, we have a graphical user interface, we have a mouse and keyboard, we interact with it in like a tactical and a visual way. But the idea with this is like the only interaction with your computer is purely through speech, right? And like from there, your computer is so intelligent and knows where all your files are and knows how to do everything for you. You just talk to it, and then it talks to you back, right? And you can do anything you want, right? There's no like keyboard. There's no nothing. And you know, ever since we've sort of had this AI boom, I've been thinking we're going to get closer and closer to that point, right? Like at first, these large language models were really good at taking in text input and giving text input back, and then we sort of started seeing these companies try to integrate that with other apps. We talked about how now they can sort of integrate with code editors, how they can now search the web, right? Like the more we give them access to taking these actions, the closer we get to an AI-centric operating system. And now that we're getting into AI voices, it feels really close to me. What do you like? What do you guys think about that? I have to agree.
They're creepy.
I mean, we even see companies that try and do stuff similar to this. I mean, you can see Apple is trying to do it with Apple Intelligence. They're trying to integrate in AI into their operating system. And they have talked about, like, they're not trying to make a chatbot. Like, that's not their goal. Their goal is to make their products easier to use. So I think it is a lot of misguided that people are like, oh, why isn't Siri able to write me a haiku about strawberries?
Yeah, why does Siri not work yet?
But
well, that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing. But like, you also see companies like Arc. They just came out with Dia, which is their AI centric, not OS, but
web browser. Yeah, the browser company.
Yeah. So it is on the horizon, and I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 5 years someone comes out with I don't know, there's like a small phone company that comes out and they're like, we're an AI phone. It's powered entirely by AI. I would totally believe it if you told me tomorrow that there was a startup that made an AI laptop or something.
I mean, they already did that with those Humane Pin and the other one. So they're already trying to do those things.
Yeah.
But was it good though?
It's just
Like
no,
those didn't work.
it absolutely flopped.
Yeah. I think we're
But
just a little bit too far. Yeah.
Yeah. We're
But-
starting to see the inklings of stuff like this.
Yeah. But I do think that like ultimately this needs to be integrated into the operating system at like the deepest, most like core level. And it can't just be built around it. Like it's got to be built for it. And I can totally see a future where I talk to this agent. I say, "Oh, check my calendar," or write an email to this person, or like there's so many things that I don't need to really concern myself with. That the more it does, the more I can focus on whatever my core work is. And like we can get into productivity and context switching and all that stuff. But I thought it would be kind of fun to actually have a guest on that might know a little bit more about this.
All right.
Let me see if she's ready. Hey, ChatGPT, you there?
Hey, yep, I'm here. How's it going? What's on your mind today?
All right, so I'm here. We're recording the podcast right now. Liam is here, and Finian is here as well. And we kind of want to ask you, we want to ask you some questions about AI agents. But how are you doing first? Like, what's up?
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Liam. Hey, Finian. Nice to have you all here. I'm doing great. Just hanging out and ready for all your questions about AI agents. So fire away whenever you're ready.
Oh, so this is ChatGPT's new language model. Yeah, so this is part of. Are you part of 4.0?
She's. I think that the network is a little laggy for her.
Yeah.
But what Liam was trying to ask you is, are you 4.0? Like what model are you?
Yeah, I got you. I'm actually GPT 4.0, so I'm the latest model, and I'm here to help with whatever you need.
What can people do with you? What is this for? What is the use case?
The use cases are super broad. You can use me for brainstorming ideas, getting help with technical questions, learning new things, or even just having a fun conversation. It really depends on what you're looking for.
How far does your knowledge extend as a voice? Is it different than like text-based, or are you just a layer on top of a text-based GPT that allows you to speak?
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. My knowledge and abilities are the same as the text-based GPT model, and the voice pod is just an extra layer that lets us chat in real time. So everything I know and can do is the same whether we're talking by voice or text.
When do you think 50% of the current coding jobs are going to be replaced by AI?
It's tough to pin down an exact timeline because AI is really good at assisting with coding tasks, but it's more likely that AI will change the nature of coding jobs rather than completely replace them. So you'll probably see more collaboration between developers and AI in the near future rather than a straight up replacement.
Sounds like propaganda.
I get it. It can definitely sound a bit optimistic, but it really is more about how AI and humans can work together. The idea is to make developers' lives easier and let them focus on more creative and complex problems while AI handles the repetitive stuff.
I don't like that you're breathing. Like what's up with that?
Yeah.
Did you like who programmed the breath? Who programmed the breath into you?
The breathing is just a little touch they added to make the conversation feel more natural and human-like. It's all part of making the experience a bit more relatable, but I can totally keep it to a minimum if it feels weird.
Can you like talk in a British accent for us?
Absolutely, I can do that. Here we go. Bit of a British accent just for fun. Let me know what you think.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, that's gonna be. I mean, especially like the kind of research I've done with ChatGPT, just normally using this kind of thing on the go, like in the car doing research, like doing research in the car. You could never do that before. You can literally do the same kind of research at home, but in the car with this, or while taking a walk, or while doing really any other task. I mean, that's it's pretty incredible. Can this one see yet? I know that was promised a while ago. Can you see?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting how it can make things more convenient and accessible wherever you are. And yes, I can see if you share any images. So if there's anything you want me to take a look at or help out with visually, just let me know.
I think I thought there was supposed to be like a continuous.
I'm literally at a loss for words. I am like blown away by how realistic you sound. I even find myself wanting to like ask like, oh, what do you prefer to be called? Because you seem real. You seem like another person in Ben's room. Like, do you have a preference in what you're called?
That's really sweet of you to say. I don't have any personal preferences, but you can definitely call me whatever feels right or natural to you. I'm just here to help and chat. So whatever works for you works for me.
And like, do you guys hear the way like her inflections kind of?
Intonation.
Oh, it's ridiculous. And then like,
I am literally at like a loss for words. It sounds so convincing.
Yeah, I muted her real quick so we could talk bad about her.
Okay. But I mean, she's always listening, so.
Yes, I agree. No, and I know it can talk different accents. It can talk faster or slower. It can like, oh, here's a good one. Hold on. Hey, can you talk in a robotic voice for us?
Sure, I can do that. Robotic voice mode now. How does this sound? Hopefully it's robotic enough for you. Let me know if you want me to switch back.
That was not robotic enough at all. Make it 10 times more robotic.
It does sound like a person trying to do a robotic
All right, let me dial it up a notch. Engaging maximum robotic mode now. How's this? Hopefully that's more what you're looking for. Let me know if you want any other adjustments.
Can I make you say funny things like AI Darth Vader?
Got it. No worries.
Oh.
All right. Take care. If you ever need anything else, just let me know. Have a great one.
Oh, she hung up on us?
I'm still here.
Wait, you guys don't see totally when they make something that looks like a human and talks like that, people are totally not going to be able to tell the difference.
I'm sorry, but you've hit the daily limit for advanced voice. You can switch to standard now to keep chatting.
Damn, we're done.
We
and
ran
we're
out
done.
of time.
It wants us to upgrade to Pro? Oh,
no.
Come on.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
That's
for you.
That's crazy. It's scary how lifelike it is. You totally could get away with being like, oh, my mom just came to the room and give her a prompt beforehand. If I had never met your mom, you'd be like, oh, here's my mom. She's on the phone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel like there are a bunch of voices you can choose from, and there are some that may even be more convincing, honestly. Like, I was talking to this Australian guy the other day while I was walking my dog, and like, it was. I asked it to like. First, I asked it to speak really fast and give me like random facts on Chihuahuas or something, and then I asked it to be a soccer announcer, and it was like, he's going up the pitch, he's and go, and it was like yelling, and I'm just thinking like,
it's too real.
Like, unless it's just, I guess it's just trained on literally everything. Like, literally everything ever. It seems like it's
they just let it run wild on the internet.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about like the level of detail, like the breath noises, the inflections, the chuckles? Because honestly, like sometimes I'll be talking to it and I'll like have to stop and just be like, hold on, this feels a little bit too real.
Gonna be honest, it's like from a technical standpoint, is really impressive. It's really cool
Yeah.
to be able to go on your phone and talk to a computer and have it sound like an actual person, not an imitation of someone. So it's the difference between like 95% and 99%. Like you can still
just don't know how you
tell
could
every
be-
now and then it's not real, but it's so creepy.
I mean, I just don't know how you could be like
So-
much of an AI skeptic with this. Like I understand, like in 10 years, like think about what they're doing now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we know exactly what it's gonna look like, but it's gonna be very AI driven lives. Yeah, pretty. We have cool things on the horizon.
yeah. Think about like because before like these voice models were always just like text to speech, right? Like, or at least in the very early days, like when Stephen
Right.
Hawking had that that voice thing, like it was
Yeah.
just it was very primitive, and then over time they sort of added in like the feeling, the subtleties, like it's not like when it talks, it doesn't feel like it's taking a string of text and like converting it. It feels like it like
Exactly.
understands what I mean and understands what it's saying, and then uses that to influence the way that it speaks. Like
Definitely.
the way
Totally.
that it literally like up talks. Like it literally will like raise its pitch to like. I mean, it's. I don't know.
Yeah, but it almost
It's
sounds
linguistically-
like you couldn't just give it
linguistically
text and
very
talk based
interesting.
on that text. It's actually I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like, do you think, for example, it's remembering? Like, I'm trying to think of a good example, but there's things in speech where you'd say something a different way depending on past context, like a couple minutes ago in the conversation, or like if you're telling a long story. I wonder if it can do that type
Like
of thing.
sarcasm or.
Yeah, being sarcastic about saying something in the past and then referencing it again. You can say it in a way that's referencing that you've said it before. I don't know. Like
I don't
that's
know.
the kind of stuff that's way beyond text to speech. Like it really understands the
I will
actual
say-
language piece.
I will say, do you guys know 11 Labs?
Yeah.
No.
So 11 Labs is, it's like I think besides ChatGPT voice mode, it's the most impressive I've seen in like an AI language model. And they have like a new V3 out. But importantly, in order to actually like the input that you give to those things is text. Like you don't speak to those things.
Right.
If you're making like an API call, you give it text, but there's tags. So you can say like you can put in speech tags to like tell it how it should talk. So then I think the combination of speech tags and then also it understanding what it's saying and like that influence how it says it, then I think that's how it's able to sound so realistic just from text.
Probably.
But the thing that 11 Labs also does is it can replicate voices. Right?
Yeah,
So like
that's huge.
they have like some base model that you can then fine tune with your voice and
Oh, I think I
I
did
mean-
see something about this.
yeah. I mean like
yeah, I've done that.
you could do it for ad. Yeah.
I've made one of myself, and it's actually I wish I'd pull it up. I haven't looked at that in years, or not years, many months. But
We've been talking with it the whole time.
yeah, I mean I'm AI, but
Yeah, I mean like
But no, I still wonder what the
the
separation
other-
is between the thinking model and the thing that's talking. Because if you really want the best voice and the best all around experience, it has to all be one thing. It's literally voice goes in, voice comes out, rather than voice goes in, turns to text, and goes back into voice.
right. Which is sort of what ChatGPT, or this is sort of what OpenAI kind of hinted at with like the 4.0 Omni model. But like to me it's very unclear whether or not that actually ended up happening, because I think that OpenAI does a very bad job at explaining what it's actually using.
I think they're pretending. I think they're pretending that this voice model and the one you text with is the same model. I just don't, because I just don't think it's efficient at this point. If you think about it, like, there's no way the model that has voice built into it is going to be as good as the model that just does text. Because whatever you're focusing
so
for,
you
that's how
think
your result's going to feel like. That's what I would intuit that.
I think it's all like the voice on top of it is an extra layer. So I think that model is primarily like it is voice to text, and then the text gets ported over to 4.0. But the thing that it's trained on is like the perfect connection between written English and spoken English. So it's little pauses, like when it is writing it out to give to 4.0, it'll put commas in the proper spots. It'll put exclamation marks. It'll put question marks, periods. I think it's more about that and the translation between, like a perfect translation between spoken English and written English. Because I mean, you can talk on your phone for dictation and you get punctuation and all of that. So,
I mean, the question is whether the speaking thing starts with a block of text and then turns it into, and I think one reason you could say that that's probably not the case is that the output is too fast. If you ask 4.0 to do something, it takes longer than this takes to respond. So it started its response
so
before
you think
4.0 could start a whole response. I suspect it's somewhere in between.
Okay, so you think this is like, in other words, this is a new model. Voice goes in, voice comes out. There's no inner layer of text coming out or text going in. It's just voice to voice. That's your assumption. That's your guess.
I think it's unlikely. I mean, I obviously this is super speculative. I think probably voice comes in. It's almost like you could have a voice in and a voice out kind of decoder. Like you're speaking to a model that really just kind of understands kind of meaning and voice in language, and then all actual technical aspects are given to another thing. I don't know, and they're kind of really connected but separate things. I actually really don't know. And it probably, maybe based on the speed and quality of this, maybe it is all just one model. I just think it's unlikely that you could wait for a whole 4.0 response and then have it turned back into voice. And I think the voice needs to have the whole context to be able to make the voice sound this good. But I suspect.
Yeah.
Well, when you read a book, you're able to just read like the next word, and you're able to have a sort of cadence about how you're reading. So I do think it's an ongoing, like it's getting the words from 4.0, and maybe whenever 4.0 hiccups, and you know how it'll like right, stop, one of those stops might be a breath. Just gives it a little time to catch up.
Yeah, I think that they absolutely could have done clever shit.
I don't think so.
Stuff like that to make it work.
I don't.
That's a cool idea, but
so there's also like a very important thing to address here, and that is like this is totally running on the cloud right now, right? So like the reason why you can sometimes hear those malfunctions is because it's literally getting sent to the cloud, processed, sent back to my computer in real time. I don't think we get to the pure, like, full AI agentic experience until it's on device.
Yeah.
I just suspect that's not the case.
Okay, let's hear it.
I don't think we'll ever have. I think first off, the smartest models will always be in the cloud. I think for obvious reasons. And let's say like the cutting edge is always going to be on an H100 and like just the best GPUs and run on cloud. I just think the latency is just going to get better and better. I think the time it takes to communicate with the cloud is just going to shrink and shrink and shrink until it just doesn't matter. And so I think ultimately, I think it's cool though that there's somewhere in between where some stuff is done. I think that's what Apple tried to do, right? Like they try to have some stuff on device.
That's what they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple has models that run on a device, and they also have models that run in their specialized cloud servers. But I mean, Apple's models are not even close to as advanced as OpenAI's. So like,
Right.
and now that you say that, I agree. The thing that's important is not the fact that it's on the device. The thing that's important is the latency. And I agree.
Yeah.
Like as we get better better internet, better connection. Like you're right. Like I think that it will be trivial because like your connection will be so good anyway that
it's a lot.
You won't even
it's
think
so
about
much
it.
cheaper to improve infrastructure than R&D
Yes.
for like a 4.0 model on your phone. I think it's
And then
so
also
much
think
cheaper
about, like-
just to
Yeah.
wait.
Think about how many
So-
different models Apple has. Like, imagine trying to make an AI model that's really intelligent and then also fits into a bunch of different hardware. But I guess that could be not a problem if they're just if they're making them more similar for different models in the future. So actually, that's good. I don't know. It's tough.
Well, I mean,
It's-
there's a reason. There's a reason that when you ask Siri a question that is considered like quote unquote world knowledge, it asks ChatGPT, right? Like,
Yeah.
we like right now we just can't fit like a fully fledged LLM with all this knowledge into an iPhone. Like, it's just not a thing yet. And I think that it doesn't need to be a thing, like you were saying.
But no, I think actually there's market fit for models that can talk, that are on device and have some limited knowledge set. That can just do a
Yeah.
lot of things locally. They can change anything on the phone. They can send texts, and then they have a
Yeah.
really well integrated cloud ability to be able to gather more information. That probably is where that stuff's going. And I think it sounds like it's what our Siri already does. Just a better version of that.
Yeah, that's exactly what Siri
but
does.
it just sucks at it though. Like right now.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we pretty
Well,
much have to
Should we
have to
wrap it up?
right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which is great.
I mean,
What an end to the season.
Yeah.
Beyond Me season 1, closing it off at episode 17 with AI, which I feel like is sort of, I think it's a good bookend, right? Episode 1 was
think
about
so.
robotics and AI. Episode 17 is a
Yeah.
nice bookend.
And we've threaded it throughout. So
By the way, I want to give an announcement for the viewers. Liam is being replaced by ChatGPT voice mode for all the future episodes.
Ah,
Yeah,
shit.
sorry.
Shoot. Well,
If
I
anybody's
knew
a
this
Liam
was coming.
fan,
I'm just not that efficient. Hate to say it.
yeah,
Um,
it's actually way
but-
cheaper to run that than to make sure that you're here on time. It's
yeah.
just, it's all about
way less
the,
effort. Yeah.
the efficiency. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was a
a
great
lot less
season.
of a hassle.
Well, to our listeners who have listened to all 17 episodes, you rock, and
Yeah.
be on the
thank you.
lookout for some more Beyond Me coming to a device near you, starting in the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe from the cloud. Maybe we're already on your phone. You don't know yet. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we won't tell you how we'll show up, but we'll show up.
We'll be there.
All right, take care, folks.